Brother Brian, these people over here. Listen. So let me get over here to Brother AC. He already kicked in and he ain't shy at all. Listen, he says here, listen to this, Brother Brian. He says, Cherry Love, it is almost a rhetorical question, but why do Black Hebrew Israelites on the law, they justly ignore scripture? I noticed in the law discussion, Elder Mike yesterday specifically, it's one verse wonders. Oh, beautiful question. Brother Brian, did you want to tackle that first, or are you leaving it up to me, sir? Let's see.
Eh, I mean, it's pretty obvious that they're going to ignore scriptures that debunks them. They're going to isolate all these scriptures to their advantage, and they're gonna bank on you never reading the scriptures. That's the reason I always say context kills false doctrine, because I want people to go in their own Bibles, read their own text, and then that way they'll know actually what the whole chapter is talking about. Because a lot of times a lot of these Hebrew Israelites don't even know what the whole chapter is talking about. They couldn't tell you. I mean, they don't know. They're lost.
I believe that beautiful answer, Brother Brian. AC, here's my response to you, and I thank you for the question. God bless you for the question. Here's what we see. I'm taking us over here to Galatians chapter 2, right? Galatians chapter 2. And I know you like this, Cherry. Why Galatians chapter 2? Actually, I'm appealing technically to the whole book of Galatians. So actually, let me take us back, Brother AC. Let me take you back. So, Brother AC, first thing I want to bring to your observance right here in Galatians chapter 1. Paul says something here very, very crucial, which allows us to know the crux of the problem. And it starts right here. Number one, it's starting with God. The Hebrew Israelites don't have God right. A lot of them don't. Okay. I know Elder Mike pointed out that there's a remnant of folks in the Hebrew Israelite movement that would agree with all of the essentials that most likely we hold to. Okay. However, the difference is, and I know some folks shy away from it. Some folks like, Sister Cherry, well, it's not important, but it is. Okay, it is. And I know in some Christian apologists, we do differ on this, and it's not a main essential. But I do see that it's a doorway. And I know you're probably wondering, what am I talking about? The fact that even though they agree, that remnant agrees with us, they're still holding on to that doctrine, that the very name or believing that they're Hebrew Israelites. Again, the Bible does not say or give any indication of that, even that name, Hebrew Israelite, as a compound word. Hebrew, we see. Israelite, we see separate, right? And I know that might sound kind of petty of me, but it's not, because that's where it starts. I'm laying this foundation for a reason. And that's where it starts at. That the name of it is an introduction to the actual faulty doctrine. And so now when you walk through that door of that faulty name that the Bible has never co-signed, the Bible never has unctioned, any kind, whatever you want to say, now you got other doors. Remember, I said one door leads to another door, whether it be good or bad. You walk through a bad door, don't expect the good door to be behind that door. Expect another door that's bad, that's going to lead into more deeper sin. And so that's where it starts with a lot of people. That's why I said the cutoff got to be at the introduction. Now, I do recognize there is a small remnant, and I'll say that very sharply, a small remnant of those who identify as Hebrew Israelites that don't agree with the others. In fact, it's a lot of stuff they don't agree with each other on. There's really no unity other than I'm an Israelite. Now, getting to your particular question, dealing with even that small remnant. The problem is with a lot of these people, it starts with God. They don't know who God is. And Paul is starting out right here strong in the book of Galatians. Galatians chapter 1. Look at what he says here. Check this out, Brother Brian. I am astonished. I am amazed. I am surprised. What in the world are you doing? That you are so quickly, I'd added that, deserting him who called you into the grace of Christ and turning to a different gospel. Boom! Right there, there's a problem. And this right here, Brother AC, is the major core problem. God and the gospel. So if you don't got God right and you don't got the gospel right, there's no way in the world they're going to get the law right. They're abusing the law of Moses as an instrument tool to manipulate people. It's not about obeying God. It's about using the law to manipulate, to control, and to even dominate. Because again, the law itself, it's good. But get this. I can prove that to you. In fact, I told you this last time, right? All of you. The law of God is so powerful. Do you know that sin itself uses the law to empower itself to condemn you? I want you to think about that. The law itself is good and powerful, and the devil knows this. Sin is the strength from the law. You know why? Because sin is a pleasure mechanism. Do what you want to do. Do how you want to do when you want to do. Who cares? You can't tell me what to do, when to do, and how to do it. I do what I want to do and how I want to do it, and if I want to do it. That's what sin lets that person do. But hold on. Sin does not show you the little fine print that them itty bitty letters that you need a magnifying glass to see it, right? Or maybe a telescope or a microscope to see it. Because again, it's a hidden clause. You disobey God, you got to pay the consequence. And this is why you see amongst the Hebrew Israelites, they remove the consequences of God that you see in the biblical text, flip it to something else, and now you're on your way to a pathway of destruction. So now when it comes down to actually dealing with the law correctly and understand the purpose of the law, they have to make sure that that thing stays what? Manipulated, twisted, and flipped backwards. Because if that person becomes aware or has the full understanding, that ain't what God was saying regarding the law, and you must don't understand what that means or what the purpose of the law is, their faulty agenda cannot work. Now let's continue in Galatians because Paul says something else. We're still right here in the gospel, but it's going to march us directly into the law. And not that there is another one, but there are some who trouble you and want to distort the gospel of Christ. But even if we or an angel from heaven should preach to you a gospel contrary, different, not the true gospel, to the one we preach to you, let him be accursed, anathema. So these people are already got these people being condemned to hell, even before we even start talking about any type of laws of God, right? You already in trouble when you try to pervert the gospel. Listen, I tell Hebrew Israelites now, I used to fight them on this. How you talking about you curse? And you curse. You ain't cursed. You can, Jesus Christ can, I had to check myself, right? Well, actually, God checked me. And I had God sent some people to check me. Hold on. Even the major one, which is the word of God. Yeah, hold on. Shut up, girl. They are cursed. Not because of Deuteronomy 28, but because of Galatians chapter 1. And when I begin to study Galatians chapter 1, and I start seeing right here, this word here occurs right here. This word right here, let me highlight it, try to get it highlighted somewhat. Occurs. That means what? Condemn. Condemn to hell. You out of here. These people are perishing. So guess what? How are people that is perishing, a cursed anathema, going to be able to teach you about an almighty, powerful law that came from God? They can't. It don't make no sense. They don't start with God at all. They start with themselves and thinking they can dictate and tell God what he needs to do. And they're on top of that, got the nerve to try to be God over you. Oh, Brother AC, I hope you're getting what I'm saying. And I know I know you like, I asked about the law, but it's tying in. Just walk with me just a little while longer. Because this right here, I got to start with God. God is the one who is the lawgiver, who gave the law, who created the law, who established the law. The law has always been in him, with him. It is what? It shows his moral character, right? And of course, Moses expounded off that moral character. And of course, this is another shot at Hebrew Israelites. How they thumping on a law that shows God's moral character and they can't display or what? Mimic or walk in that moral character because they don't know God. So the gospel, the law, God, and all of this faith, grace, mercy, salvation, all of this is tied to who? God. So that's why it makes sense for me to start at the source. They don't got the source right. Therefore, they're not going to get the other stuff right. Right? That's the first thing that I wanted to point out to you. Now, hold on. Let's continue just a little while longer. Watch this, watch this, watch this. For am I now seeking the approval of men or of God? Or am I trying to please man? If I were still trying to please man, I will not be a servant of Christ. You can't be both. You can't be both. And Hebrew Israelism, they know this. But unfortunately, they have chosen to please man over Christ. And they're trying to use the law of Moses as a cloak mechanism to make themselves look like they got a form of godliness, but never coming to the understanding of the power thereof regarding the power of God or the power or the actual information or the meaning of the law. This is why they abuse the law. So when Elder Mike was speaking on those things, and I know who you're talking about, Mr. Victor Calloway, whatever his name is, and a few other crazies up in there that was in the chat. I said, sir, one dude said something crazy. I said, sir, you need to hush and be quiet. Sit down with that lie. I forgot what he said because I blocked it out. But he said it in the chat, and that was my response to him. And notice something, AC, that Victor Calloway said in Brother Mike's chat, Elder Mike's chat, why you not speaking to me? Why you not? Because we ain't got time to be continuing with your foolishness. Other people need to be taught. And see, this is what it is. Let me say this before I go back to the law. They are seeking attention. They want more attention than my 5-year-old wants. They want the attention off of God and on them. And I love what Elder Mike did. He stayed focused. He stayed consistent with the lesson. He did address him once, but he was like, why are you not reading what I'm saying? Because that's already been addressed. How many times you going to keep asking the same question? That's the fact of it is, and I said this a long time ago, it's in my notes. They ask these type of questions, family, not for them to know like they want to know. They ask these questions in ways where it can try to validate their so-called point so they can ask another simple